Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Here I am attempting to sculpt, I believe it's Marin or Marin? I'm not entirely sure on the exact pronunciation of her name from Dress Up Darling. All I know is that she is best girl, and that's all that matters. Name pronunciation doesn't matter when it's best girl, alright? I actually sculpted this, so this is me using like guiding lines. I wanted to try making the block out a bit different than something like what I normally do. So I kind of went with a method. I believe this method's pretty popular when it comes to like actually like drawing, and there's a few like ways you can implement this into 3D. That's what I wanted to try. I actually made this back, I want to say in like March. Like I'm recording this in it's July 24th, and I'm pretty sure this was back in like I think, yeah, it was like late February, early March. It was the first time I'd ever attempted to sculpt anybody, a person, with their eyes closed and an open mouth. So here I am messing with the mouth quite a bit, and I mess with it a lot. Like, I cut out a lot of footage from this to, you know, cut it down for runtime purposes. And yeah, it was a lot of little tweaks, trying to mess with stuff, trying to get this to look right, because I'd never done this before. Wait, I recorded this back, this is back in like February or something like that, or March. It was one of the two. For the eyes, what I ended up doing was I took a sphere and I tried to make the eyelids a separate object, and then I didn't really like the way they looked, and you'll see here in just a moment. If you look on the left, you can still see the mirrored object right there, and I ended up using that as kind of my reference, and I just ended up sculpting the eyes onto the base mesh, and I need her eyes closed, so I tried to make them round, because when your eyes are closed, I mean, there's still an eyeball in there. And then following the lines on the left there from the two separate, the upper and lower eyelid, I just kind of, you know, sculpted in the crease from the upper and lower eyelid. But yeah, honestly, I had a lot of fun doing this sculpt. I do like the way that it turned out. I've been kind of on a bit of a Blender break, especially after this one. I did like 3 or 4 back-to-back sculpts, and I needed a break for a little bit. And then I made one more, which will be my next video coming up. I still need to edit that one and everything, but I've got one more, and then I gotta get back into it and make some more. But this right there, that was me making, so when someone's really happy and they got that big grin, their cheekbones are a bit more pronounced. I was trying to, do that, trying to make those a bit more pronounced. I spent a good bit of time on the face. I honestly cut out a lot of stuff for like runtime purposes on here. The ears, I'm still not even the best at sculpting the ears, so I took a lot of this time as like practice, like for, like, even if it's not, very prominent in the shot or something, if it's something that I'm just not super comfortable with when it comes to my sculpting, then I'll just take the time to practice it. Like I think on this one, I think it was the feet. I think I took a good bit of time with, just because I used it for practice. Here the hair is just placeholder. It's just for, so like when you're sculpting something, I believe I do the basic body outline here next. But when you're sculpting a face, oftentimes you hit a point where they look kind of funny. And it's like, what is going on with this? Why do they look so weird? And then you realize it's because they don't have any hair. They don't have hair. They don't have eyebrows. They don't have eyelashes. And if you look up a photo of someone without eyebrows, they tend to look a little odd. So I tend to sculpt until I hit that point, where I've got the eyebrows, the eyelashes, and and then I put like some basic hair in there, just so I have something to work with. I can see how we're looking if I need to just call it quits and restart or what we're doing. Here I can't remember the name of that muscle in the neck, but I know it tends to be pronounced by the collarbone a lot by like more slim people. Oftentimes when I'm doing stuff like this, like for the collarbones or sometimes the shoulders or like the neck muscles, you tend to make them a bit more pronounced, and then you smooth it down, and I just find it tends to get a good result there. Here, that's actually a square cube that's just shrunk down, and then I use the bool tool, which is a free add-on in Blender. It's included with, and I'm doing that so that I can, and I always have to click all, like, I don't remember if I'm supposed to click the model first or the item first and which button first. Like I just click through all the options until I get the one that the result I'm trying to get. And here I'm doing this because I'm trying to separate pants. Like this becomes its own material and that becomes the pants. And I was trying to separate it from the main body. So the head is separate from the rest of the body in terms of like it actually like being joined together in my sculpting. And so I needed to separate the legs because I was going to use those for the pants. I didn't want to sculpt the pants separate. I could just cut out the legs and make those the pants. The shirt here, it's just a plain that's mirrored, shrink wrapped, and subdivision modifier, and then, you know, add in geometry and like some edge cuts, you know, as necessary, some edge loops in there. I said edge cuts, some edge loops, and, you know, get it around the breast area. The jacket or the sweatshirt it's just a sphere that is mirrored, and I just sculpted in the jacket. Wasn't a big deal. The sleeves, however, though, they are separate. I believe here in a second. Yeah, here I am. I'm pushing in the jacket right here, just so, you know, it doesn't like clip into the body and look kind of funny or anything like that. I mean, I'm just trying to like shape it around the body to where, you know, the way it looks like, you know, she's wearing a sweatshirt. You know, it's not gonna, you know, big baggy sweatshirt. It's not gonna be hugging her body or anything like that. The sleeves, though, I do those separately because usually your sleeves, I mean, you can see it on a shirt, but it's more pronounced, I'd say, like in a jacket, tend to be, what is the word I'm looking for? They have that crease in them, and, you know, sometimes that it's easier like to make that a bit more pronounced. I find with the sleeves are separate. Just it kind of depends on what you're sculpting. Here, you know, just putting her earrings in, making sure I get all of those correct from the outfit that she's wearing. I do have that little pearl or bead or whatever on their necklace there, or on the choker. I know that gets removed because I had realized from the reference that I was looking at, I had multiple references, and I saw on one of them she had the little choker with the bead on there, and then when I realized the outfit I'm sculpting here, she does not have that, so I ended up having to remove it. I don't remember exactly at what stage I was in. I was like, oh, she doesn't even have that thing in the outfit that I was using, so let's just get rid of that. Right there, so that was me, you know, rigging up the model, doing everything I needed for posing. I used the Rigify, just make this a bit easier on my sanity. And, you know, just modeling it, moving it, you know, the model around as I need to, posing it, doing whatever I gotta do to get the end result here. The pose that she's in is actually reference to the first volume of the manga. And then here, so the hair I did work a good bit on the hair. It's usually, I don't have my blender open. I believe it's a curve and a path, and I could always make a video on how I did that exactly. But I mentioned it in a few of my other videos. It's the same method I've always done. I think it's a pretty popular method, honestly, because it tends to get you some really good results. And yeah, that was me just messing it with some hair, adding in some more strands, just kind of here and there. I went into the shading tab, and I was trying to get the highlights on their hair, because their hair, like the tips are pink, but I ended up having to make two of them. I did a lot of experimenting, messing around with stuff, trying to get it to look exactly right. The shorter strands of hair, I had to make its own separate one, because it didn't really copy over properly when it had the same material, so it's its own separate material. Here is me kind of messing around with as I realized that some of the inside of the mouth is incorrect. I go in and I fix it and everything later. But this is me, you know, trying to add in some texture painting on the face, make it look a bit more human. I find it adds a lot. I'm still learning exactly how to do that, but I'm just kind of adding in some reds over the body. You know, usually people's, like, if you look at someone's chest, there's usually a bit of like a red. Towards their cheeks, there's some red. The palms of your hand, like anywhere you look, you know, if you look at like the palms of your hand or anything like that, you'd be able to see like how it's a bit more red up kind of near like that, the top of the palm of your hand, usually around your fingertips, everything like that. Once that was done, that was how we ended up with our little end result here. There was a few little things that I did, like the fingernails got their own little material, of course. The teeth, I tried modeling them myself, and it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So I ended up going on a website and finding one that someone had made, and they worked for me. But yeah, that was just a kind of a real quick little video on me sculpting Marin, however she wants to pronounce it. I do not know. And I like the way it came out. I've got one more sculpt that I need to make a video for. I've had this one sitting in the archive for a while, and I was like, I just need to just upload this because I put a lot of work and time into this, and I like the way it came out. And I know I didn't show like every little thing. I didn't show the, how I made the hands. I didn't show how I made the teeth. I didn't show, or rather how I downloaded the teeth. I didn't show the collar on the sweatshirt that she's wearing, things like that. But oftentimes, like, a lot of the stuff I end up doing, I've already, like, talked about. Like, and even in some of my previous videos, I've shown me sculpting hands. It's the same thing. You just sculpt the hand. There's nothing too special about it. I mean, not everyone has hands, so, I mean, some people, it just depends. I did end up, and I'm sure I've shown it by now, there is 2 different poses that I made, just because I thought one of them looked kind of cute. But yeah, that is my my dress up darling sculpt that I made months ago and just now finally got around to uploading. I do apologize for that, but I had a lot of fun with it. I got one more that I need to edit and upload for you guys, and then I gotta figure out what anime I want to sculpt next. There's so many characters that I'm like, I like their design, I want to sculpt that, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. But I want to thank you all for watching. My name's Dusty Mill. Bye, everybody.